What is going on, YouTube? With Snyder releasing a what was it, 1,000-page Google Doc on Twitter or X the other day. I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't gonna read all that. I was gonna wait for somebody to specifically create an upload video to summarize it all for me, and that's exactly what I got here today. This is the massive Sinder response document, explained in 23 minutes ish. So I do hope you do enjoy this video. Let's get right into it.
Text. Sinder is an indie American VTuber who debuted on June. The context. Sinder is an indie American VTuber who debuted on June 25th, 2022, and was one of the top indie VTubers on Twitch, peaking at around 350,000 followers.
I do want to say I didn't really I don't know too many VTubers, so I didn't really know much about this until I heard about the situation about how she's what's the word, kind of guilt tripping people and taking advantage of people. So that's as much as I know. I did get a little bit of a summary, but it's been like how long since her situation happened.
She would get involved in a massive controversy on April
2025
when Nanoless, the artist for Sinder's models, posted a 17-page doc going over her experiences with Sinder and her manager Redacted. Following this document, several others would publish their own statements against Sinder, claiming that she was a massive manipulator who used...
Was Redacted the name, or is Redacted as in the redacting the name?
Everyone for the sake of her own growth. Cinder would fire Redacted the next day and would post her apology statement following
maybe
that.
It's actually him.
Cinder remained offline since the incident. However, on
so 5 months
7th,
ago.
2025, Cinder would post a massive 1,000-page Google Doc on Twitter.
Yeah, so it was 1,000 pages.
Individuals who accused her back in April were all lying. The overview. Cinder's document is divided into 13 separate sections.
Oh my god, 13. An overview response, a redacted. Oh, redacted. My apology and taking accountability. Nanoless by bio V card. So I'm just seeing, but most of them are just a bunch of VTubers. A message to somebody and looking ahead. What's her plan? And what's the biggest thing? Silver Val and the breakdown?
Majority of the document focusing on Nanoless, which is 21.2% of the doc, Silver Veil, about 24% of the doc, and the overall breakdown of the events from Cinder's point of view, about 23.6%.
That doesn't sound so bad.
In the document, Cinder would state that the purpose of the document is to defend herself and Redacted, take accountability for several things both revealed in the original documents and not publicly known information, and refute misconceptions that came out of the documents. Cinder would state that the document has speculative information that is mostly supported with evidence, and would call out the individuals who harassed anyone involved in the situation. The accusations. Cinder would explicitly call out 3 individuals for being the main perpetrators of the controversy.
Okay, who were they?
Nanoless for allegedly spreading significant slander and misinformation regarding her experience with Redacted. Shy Lily for allegedly, quote...
I don't know much about Shy Lily. She does appear on my feed a little bit, and I heard people with Shy Lily going in for round 2. That's a lot of memes going around for that.
Orchestrating things behind the scenes and public manipulation. And Silver Veil for allegedly lying about all of their interactions with Cinder.
I don't know about Silver Veil. I don't know who that is. Is she the artist, maybe? Maybe she was the artist she was trying to get, they're trying to guilt trip? I can't remember.
She would state that out of everyone involved in this situation, those 3 had the most to gain from Cinder's cancellation. Cinder would say that because of the extreme harassment and character assassination of her and GamerSupps, a company where Cinder had partial ownership, she voluntarily stepped down from her position in the company.
Probably still got the bag though.
Cinder would start her arguments by discussing her status with Redacted, stating that the 2 of them co-wrote the document.
This is
explicitly say that the 2 of them are still together after spending time apart, mentioning
dating
that while she cheated on Red online and painted Red
dated. Or is dated. Something. I don't know.
Apology doc, where she would claim that she was blindsided by her friends and essentially forced her to publicly call Red out. The 2 were able to make amends after their time apart and are actively together again. God damn it. The 2 have had communication problems for a while that have improved over time.
Relationship. Women scare me.
The 2 had in the past. She would mention how she lived with Red and his family from summer of 2022 to the end of February of 2025, but moved out after having consistent streaming issues involving her setup. She would also state that Red would continue to work with Sinder as her manager.
That's like 3 years together, and right when she came onto the scene too? That's crazy.
Though would no longer handle work-related communications on her behalf, and would plan to delete the original tweet where she announced that Red was fired. She would also list a few things that Red allegedly hid from Cinder, which primarily consisted of communications with the 3 main perpetrators, Bao, Cotton, and other anonymous individuals. Cinder would move on to discuss the contents of her apology doc, primarily focusing on correcting statements made towards Red and her friends in that doc, reaffirming statements that the two took accountability for, and apologizing to several individuals who don't have their own section in the document. When it came to discussing Red and the statements she made against him, she divided the claims made in the apology doc into 4 separate sections. Truthful actions that Red did alone that Sinder was already aware of, truthful actions that Red did that Sinder was also guilty of.
It was one of our look. I adopted the mindset myself for working together at the time went on. I wrongly brainwashing into thinking this was my apology.
Truthful actions that Red did alone that Sinder wasn't.
Where to go? I do not know until writing it. Red and Nano were thinking about the model 4K in 2012. Nano exploded 2015. Bad mouthing Bow in DMs. Oh yeah. This was like okay. I think I remember this.
Aware of until writing the doc.
Wait, something about it in Red taking no mouth show. Oh yeah, she talked shit too.
That were false.
Wait, hold on. We gotta go back to that last one.
That Sinder wasn't aware of until writing the doc, and actions.
I was wrong about X. I did not mean to be like Nano. He did not push Nano to work with Silverveil, and she's not constant topic between them.
Red did that were false. She would also list 15 things that she took account of.
Oh my god, I took my apology. Agree with the Red take Nano is blah 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 blah. Guilt tripping that. So I took accountability for my action. But okay, so wait. Yes, okay, no, it makes sense. So guilt tripping, so she said she did that. Unless I'm misunderstanding. Feeling over attached to Nano and her work. Okay. Being upset about personally when Bao hired by video editor. Okay, so she got salty about that, jealous. Being upset, get more using. Okay, redefine. So you ever towards me? Oh shit! Oh, so she felt like Shelly was rude to her or something. So she resentful towards Silverveil. Public offenses towards Silverveil. So just a lot of cheating on her cheating on my boyfriend's crazy. Friends of mine. Okay, so pretty much it's just personal issues towards others.
On Red, getting overly upset in multiple instances, and general negligence. Cinder would essentially call out the people who claimed that she took no accountability.
That's pretty much what I got from it.
Actions, and would state that while she does understand that Red's actions were ultimately her responsibility, she would claim that she was being blamed for
Red's action would be her responsibility. That doesn't totally makes sense because they are two separate entities, even though she is technically a manager. Red is the manager, if I remember correctly. I had to see it for his own words. But I think he should take his own accountability for his own shit too.
That she had nothing to do with. Outside of her apology, Cinder would
I don't think she should be doing that.
Where she and Red are guilty of doing something wrong.
But what if unless they were together in on it on certain parts, because I do know that happened. Then yes, then she should take accountability for that. So I think accountability for both they shouldn't be shared. I think whatever they did their own, unless it was together doing the same topic.
Only wrongdoings that the two have done, stating that every other claim that was made against the two isn't true. Some of these instances include becoming neglectful of relationships, attempting to gain exclusivity.
Wait, we both became. Wait, everything that both of us are guilty of, accountability taken for, shouldn't know, or they were presented in.
Of different things in multiple cases, being openly distrustful of various individuals, and several other things. She would state that the majority of these instances occurred between August of 2024 till April of 2025.
Over years?
Cinder would state how her relationships with her friends were damaged due to her priorities being focused on her work, and would apologize to them for neglecting them over the course of 2024. She would try to refute the claims.
That shouldn't, personally, I feel like that shouldn't matter, unless I'm misremembering, because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's your life. You gotta, like, I mean, if you're neglecting your, like, what do they mean by neglect? Like, just not keeping up to date with them, or just not messaging them all? Because if you're not, like, constantly keeping, like, my friends I don't talk to every day. They're still, like, my friends. And I don't feel like I need to talk to them every day. I'd maybe talk to them once in a while, like, you know, every other week. I don't know. I feel like that's pretty, is that not normal? Like, I'm in a group chat where we send memes to each other, but we just don't talk. But other than that, like, I want to be focused, like, working oriented.
That she was just using her friends for her own benefit by showcasing pictures of cosplay items that she created for some of her friends, and would say that her friendships were real.
I mean, for those ones, didn't they have proof saying she was trying to take accountability? She was trying to take advantage of her friends. That one, I don't know how you're supposed to.
And not stepping stones for her career. She would talk about how she and Red would dedicate an unhealthy amount of time towards her work, to the point where work was being done almost 24/7. Cinder would claim that the money wasn't their driving force for their work, but rather an indicator of success, but did acknowledge an instance where the claims of her being, quote, money hungry would be the strongest. as the instance involved an intermission on one of her model debut lore videos that required viewers to donate bits in order for the intermission to end. However, she would state that the motivation behind this wasn't to garner monetary gains, but to implement interactivity into the debut. She would briefly go over a section in her—
Shut up. That's definitely money. What else could that be? What? Just you want to get interactions, bro? What the? That's so fucked up.
Her apology regarding how—
couldn't you do interactions using channel points or something? Why does that have to be money?
She viewed her friends as competition, stating that Red was the driving force behind this narrative. Red would pitch in with his own mini statement, where he would state that, quote, everyone was competition, while Red would state that the competitive mindset was—
see that's what I think too. Like, I mean, I guess at the end of the day on Twitch, you're not really friends with anybody. Like, I don't know, I feel like they're your work friends, you know, you're not friends. If that makes— I'm not saying you can't make real friends, but I mean, I hope that makes sense. I don't know, I feel like a lot of people, unless you truly get to know them or you're playing with them for years or you're interacting with their stream like often enough, like maybe like a couple times a week, that's when you like can really be like a friend. But I don't know, most of the time I feel like you're a work competition, or not work competition but work friends.
Wasn't an excuse to hurt other creators. He would state that he did view Silverveil, Bao, and Shy Lily in a negative light and saw them as, quote, direct competition in the negative sense. Cinder—
in a negative sense, yeah, that does make sense. I don't know about negative sense. Competition is healthy.
Would go on to briefly apologize to 3 individuals in this section that didn't have enough to talk about in their own respective sections. With Tricky, Cinder would apologize to her for ditching her during a trip to Japan, where the two in red were planning to go to the Godzilla store, but ended up going there without Tricky due to her being asleep. With Cottontail,
wait, that's kind of fucked up. What the fuck?
Avoiding her due to—
that's an expensive trip. That's like, bro, that has to be a couple thousand, dude. What the hell? That's kind of fucked up. And you want to do something? Oh man.
A situation that Cinder didn't have any involvement in. Red would throw in his own apology to Cottontail for asking Nano to not work with Cotton. With Nixu,
that's fucked up. That is so disgusting. Actually, just trying to get somebody not to work with somebody at all because you don't like them or whatever. That's fucking nasty.
Maya, Cinder would apologize to her for suddenly canceling an agreement between the two and failing to follow Nixu's terms of the agreement, where Cinder failed to verbally shout out her Patreon as part of the agreement. She would blame this on being unprofessional. Getting into one of the major sections of the document, Cinder would talk about Nanoless,
I mean, that's just kind of fucked up, but I mean, not the worst.
Of manipulation, slandering others, and dragging her into drama. Cinder would claim that Nano's claims were the basis for everyone else to post their own statements, and said that after reading Red's DMs between him and Nano, Nano lied about her experiences. This section contains over 100 pages of DMs between Nano and Red, with the two occasionally providing context and additional information where Cinder and Red felt that it was needed. To try and get through the DMs, most of the screenshots in the beginning were general interactions between Nano and the two in their respective DMs, with the occasional updates and discussions for commissions, as well as the occasional praise for Nano's work. Red would pitch in from time to time talking about how Silverveil didn't like Cinder because she wasn't responding to Cinder's raids the way they wanted, as well as saying that
didn't respond to Cinder she had a problem with Cinder. Wait, so we had it to Infer, and how she would respond to Cinder's raids is the past experience we had with Infer. So Silver didn't like Cinder and how she responded to Cinder's raids. Wait, how Silver didn't like Cinder and how she would respond to Cinder's raids? I'm confused. That doesn't sound right.
Screenshots of Red speculating about Silverveil's thoughts and behaviors towards Cinder were shown.
Or was it how Lily responded to those two raids?
Even being emphasized.
What were they supposed to say? Just keep talking about thank you for raid, thank you. That's so weird.
Were Nano's words, and not theirs. More comments from Red would focus on emphasizing the positive relationship between Nano and the two, as well as trying to clarify some of the more questionable messages from Red that Nano used as evidence in her doc, such as claiming that Red never asked Nano to cancel anyone's models, though Red would later admit to offering Nano money to not work with Silver on a model. Red would
so refuted instantly. You paid him not to work on somebody else. That's nasty.
Compare Nano's models to, quote, rare trading cards by saying how the more models Nano made, the less valuable they'd become for the people who have them.
Not how that works.
Each model becomes, quote, less special as Nano makes more. Sinder would pitch in as well when it came to her own DMs with Nano, stating that the infamous "it's just business" DM was used in a way as an attempt to reassure Nano that if she ever had to change the status of Cinder's commissions for whatever reason, it was just business and nothing personal. She would state that
show us the context.
Any of the context of Red's prior.
They didn't show us context. God damn. Well, then how? Okay, so clearly there's more that you're more than likely. I'm not gonna say you probably are. You're more than likely just lying.
their discussion, her DMs with Nano could be easily taken out of context. The two would talk with Nano about her wanting to cancel her commission with Bao, which would be a decent chunk of this section, where they would claim that Nano wanted to do this out of her own volition and was scared to do so. Though Red would
do you think Bao will kill me if I cancel it with her?
Admit that he shouldn't have weighed in on
where's the rest of where's the rest of the screenshot before this and after this?
Opinions regarding the situation. A series of interactions involving exclusivity discussions were also included, where the two claimed that Nano brought up exclusivity first through a hypothetical question. In a later interaction involving exclusivity, Red asked Nano to not take on any brand new model clients and to not make any new models.
Well, I think the main thing here we're looking for is that you're not taking any brand new clients and we don't make any new outfits for it, which now again, you still be able to work at models outfits with extra with all your extra babies and your artwork comms wouldn't be affected. Well, that's okay. Well, that DM right there just shows specifically they don't want him working with Silvervale. One of our concerns is that more nano babies need nano models. That's not, okay. This is so fucked up to say nano babies and nano model. This is so weird. Doesn't say value anymore in a second. Okay, this is like the value one. Maybe not many new babies at all. So he thinks just the value of the model design will become less. Man, I know who these people are. Silverbout. Yeah, so he's asking them not to work on them.
And outfits with Silvervale specifically. A deal was made, though
then he also
it
said
canceled a
down
month
there
later due to her not being willing to cancel on Silvervale. Cinder.
Wait, hold on, let me read that.
A deal was made, though it would be canceled a month later due to her not being willing.
So this is the thing. I don't think I can do this with Silver because she's still a friend of me. It's a friend to me, and it hurts on me to do so. I don't really care. I don't really care about Bao and Cotton, so I was wondering if I could just pay back figure and rigging with our current comms. I understand if you don't want to take unfair on my side. Unfortunately, honestly, I thought I had the guts.
To cancel on Silvervale. Cinder would state that she
but he doesn't care about the two other ones?
To which Red affirmed to be the case. When Nano was making a model for Shy Lily, Red would soon have issues with this, as he had concerns that Lily and Cinder had a negative relationship with each other.
Now, the one thing I don't understand is Nano just telling them who they're making models for? Like, oh, I currently am working on a model for this person, that person. Like, how is he getting all this information, and how are they figuring this out?
He would open up to Nano about this.
Hey, Nano, do you plan on making a Lily model, her outfit, merch, or anything? Wait, hey, man, do you have any plans with Lily besides just the model? Just the model so far? Okay. Her asking you for a model recently just made an antenna go up. She's been acting weird towards Sinder lately, and we don't know what's going on. Oh, that's weird. Ever since the V card launch, I'm assuming that's like the VTuber card thing, but that's considered weird. But what about considered weird? Okay, that's pretty like Nano's thing right there. Yeah, like what? But what's good? Yeah. Lily been dropping collabs. They were both a part of the last minute, and Ghost message Snyder's rated her a couple times in the past. And Lily won't acknowledge Snyder by name, or Cinder. Cinder. I'm gonna call her Snyder. I don't know why Snyder. It's the Snyder, right? Just like pretty weird stuff.
Claiming that he thought Lily really had issues with Cinder. This would be the last set of messages that Red had with Nano through DMs, and would also be around the time where Nano would stop talking with Cinder. Nano would soon add Red into a group chat with her and Nano's manager, Akira, where they told Red that Nano would be on an indefinite hiatus.
Needs the Red. Wait. Nice to meet you, Red. I'm Nano, a new manager. I'm supporting client. Okay, so he's just a new manager.
Working with them due to burnout. Red would accept this decision, but Red and Cinder would hint skepticism regarding the reasoning.
The reasoning Akira gave us didn't make sense. Presented by the conversation is how they're
behind this decision. After some time passed, Nano would post her document to Twitter.
Here, I'm sharing something that has affected me personally and it hurts others. This is not very hard for me, but necessary. Please do not send hate to anyone on behalf of this. Well, I mean,
Cinder
instantly
fucking
the
two attempted to reach out
send
to
hate.
Nano
That's so funny.
But would soon delete them after. Nano would then cut off communication with them. When it came to Bao, Cinder apologized to her for neglecting her as a close friend and for Red's general resentment towards Bao.
I want to know what that one part where Red, like, not resentment stems from. It's just like literally he said they didn't want him to work on like well, I guess Nano said she didn't care if he didn't work on Bao and the other persons, but he wanted to do Silver
ended up causing Cinder to feel similar resentment. Cinder would acknowledge that she knew of Bao's planned model with Nano and felt bad that Nano canceled her model because of her. Red would also apologize for his resentment towards Bao and admitted to reassuring Nano that she could cancel Bao's model as a way to take an opportunity away from them. Cinder would include roughly 60 pages worth of screenshots containing various interactions of the three, though a lot of these screenshots would be interactions between between Nano and Red, as a way for Sinder and Red to confirm the things that happened in Nano's section. Instances where Red developed negative opinions about Bao were included as well.
Wait, hold on. What the fuck?
Nano's section. Instances where Red developed negative opinions.
There's the things that happened at TwitchCon last year that further formed the opinion I had on Bao. First, the night where Sinder, her friends, and I went out for the dinner. This is Red talking. Went somewhere nice. Bao was supposed to be there, but never showed up. It was the first chance the close friends had to see each other in a month in person, away from work, and she blew them off. Everyone present had to talk about her not being there. I mean, that's hearsay. Hearsay! Well, one of those friends are telling us that they are working on a song with Bao, and Bao asked them to make a music video to go with the song. This friend has making with Sinder at the time was planned to have a music video, but they weren't planning on having one of the song with Bao. They were said that Bao was gone upset, guilt tripping them over their decision with their contents. Reinforced that I had told now, okay, so something about making a music video. One was making a music video, the other one wanted to make a music video. Whatever. The last night before everyone had home to the friends were planning to go to dinner, I ended up getting sick and stayed behind in the group chat. In the group chat while they were figuring out where to go, Bao said she wanted to go somewhere fancy or she wasn't going. This was the last night everybody was together, but she was still she spent time with her friends, Nina Snyder, or I've accepted the group chat anymore. Okay, I mean, so we couldn't get screenshots of that, so it doesn't really matter. And I mean, even then, I mean, you just. Maybe she just didn't like. She wanted to go somewhere fancy. Like if she doesn't want it, she doesn't have to go. She doesn't force anybody not to go if she doesn't. Like I don't know those last. Honestly I feel like that last side didn't matter at all. Like just because they didn't feel like chilling. Like that doesn't matter. There's two things that happened during the night of the trip to Japan. The one that went to Japan where they didn't go with the friend. That was kind of fucked up. Bao got mad at another one of her friends for something. Oh, this was Bao. She got pissed and yelled at belittling our friend when she did nothing wrong. They confided in Steiner and I offer blah blah blah. Just not how Bio is. I mean, because they said. I mean, this is like you don't know. Like, is this real? Everyone got together at this Canadian Thanksgiving dinner. Since it was a few days early, it was the last night friends could be together, just like TwitchCon. And again, Bao never showed up. She said she was on her way, and then sometime later said, "Never mind, she's not coming." We all were the last time we see each other until 2025. After TwitchCon in Japan, I was pretty convinced that I thought about you and value friendship outside of making content together. I mean, sure. I mean, we actually don't know if this is not really an argument. Like, you don't even know if this is true or not.
Opinions about Bao were included as well. Red would bring his opinions up to Sinder, where the two would fight over.
And like, did we not even hear about like the reasons why she didn't show up? Like, did they even ask why she didn't show up? And if they did, why did they mention it? Red came up with a theory about Bao and brought it to me. This is a verbal conversation that had no evidence, only events around it. So, yeah, so it's just like a bunch of events. Like, it doesn't really matter. Her to hurt us? I don't believe it yet.
A unique interaction would be between Red and Sacramore, the music video editor for Cinder's
Oh.
music group Boss Rush, where Sacramore stated that he was going exclusive with Bao, where Red admitted.
You want to do a MV for February? Hey, brother, I'm sorry, but after January 2nd, I'm closing all my comms indefinitely and wanting going completely in-house for Bao. Okay, I mean, okay.
That he was skeptical of Sack's reason.
As we're messaging, I was going back and forth, talking to the signer about this, which was gaps in time, blah, 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 and then the conversation was switched for this.
For going exclusive, and began feeling resentment towards Bao, later claiming that Bao was very negative about her own music and was taking it out on her fans, but wouldn't provide screenshots to back those claims, instead linking a tweet that, quote, indirectly supports the above claim. Red would acknowledge that he
doesn't matter at all, I don't know. So just because people don't want to work with you, you start thinking it's their fault, whatever.
Judged Bao's intentions and situation, and apologized to Sack for being misinformed and hostile towards him. The majority of the remaining screenshots and comments were taken from Nano's section, though there is a portion where Sinder stated that Red pressured her to not interact with Bao professionally.
He pressured me, I was not going to argue. I wasn't going to agree with that, but I didn't want to cause problems for us at home.
To where she said that she refused, but would choose to keep her distance with Bao. Red would admit to doing this.
Wait, was that NSW? Wait, what was that? Middle ground between us, and I don't plan about one-on-one, which is what we really did. I didn't rate her in the times I was able to, and I didn't retweet our work of the two together on my NSW. Okay, never mind. But it's not gonna continue with that. It's
Sinder would also admit to neglecting their friendship, which caused Bao to feel isolated and confided in Numi about Sinder's actions. Numi's section primarily focused on Sinder apologizing for neglecting Numi's offer to be
part of a concert in down. by canceling
a part of her concert in February of 2025 by prioritizing her business venture of representing V-Card over Numi's concert.
So she put her business over a friend. I mean, I don't know. It's hard. This one's hard to say because, like, I mean, I don't see. One's kind of fucked up for your friends, but I don't think really like. I mean, it is a big concert, so I guess it is kind of fucked up. It depends on where your plans were. Like, say I agreed to this first, and then I got this. Then that's different.
Screenshots that followed contain several sets of interactions between.
Oh, and if she canceled last minute, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do this. Is there anything I can do?" Like, you have to, like, if you're gonna cancel, at least say something like, "Oh, is there anything else I can do to help? Maybe find somebody who could fill me a spot or something." I don't know.
Sinder and Red and Numi, as well as between Sinder and Shy Lily regarding their upcoming collab with V-Card. Generally speaking, the interactions with Numi consisted of Red and Sinder talking about the upcoming concert.
So my concert is in February. I know Sinder she'd be down to do performance with him, but she also has performance one of her own songs. The one perform went, okay, we are a set list and made it, so okay, well, anybody? I was thinking of writing a new song for us to perform during Sexy Drug instead of Sexy Drug, unless we're gonna do that. I'll ask her. Also, I don't know what she saw a message, but the date is February 1st. I can pay for your hotel and stuff. I think, wait, when was this said? This was said in December 26, 2024. I think I already have it on my calendar, so this pretty much confirmed saying that this is when they're doing it. Because I know Sarah said she'd be down to perform with me. Okay, so she said she would be down. Okay, we're gonna go back on her hotel and stuff, blah, blah, blah. Sinder decided not to perform. And this was January 13th. She's nervous to sing with her live mic. Okay, so that's probably just a lie, but whatever, no worries. But I mean, she knew me was pretty chill with that. By the way, your concert will be February. Still for me. This was November 25th. I love to. Where is it? Okay, so so contradictory. So she's not that she's nervous, or maybe she is. Maybe she got like stage jitters, but I don't think that's what it is.
Sinder would be performing an original song composed by Numi, and the interactions with Shy Lily consisted of planning for the V-Card collab. Cinder would end up choosing to focus on the V-Card collab and her position as a part owner of Gamersubs, and would end up turning down Numi's request in a convoluted manner. This would lead to Numi confronting Cinder about it, to which Cinder apologized to her about the miscommunication. Numi would accept Cinder's apology. Cinder would be able to attend Numi's concert as a viewer, and told Numi that she would be at her next concerts, though it ended up not happening due to
we've been on hold for all the venues in Austin and Chicago. We're not sold on the date yet, blah, blah, blah.
To the controversy. Shy Lily's section focused on...
Yeah, so, I don't know, like, how'd she go to the concert anyways then? I mean, whatever. I like, she gave her, like, a good amount of advance. I don't know, times, tables for me. As long as we apologize. And I don't know why the red guy lied saying she was nervous. She could just... I feel like that's a conversation between Snyder or whatever Sinder and her to have.
Talking about her response to Cinder's apology. Sinder would state that Lily was the first person Nana reached out to about this controversy, and claimed that Lily orchestrated the collaborative effort of canceling her, with her response being the final nail in Cinder's coffin. The following roughly 12 to 13 pages of screenshots discussed Cinder's interactions with Shy Lily, specifically their V-Card collab, as well as previously mentioned information from the previous sections again. Regarding the V-Card collab, Cinder admitted that she leaked information about V-Card ahead of the release date, with some of that information being completely incorrect. Shy Lily would be openly annoyed about this happening, and stated in her stream that, while she won't say who leaked the information, official sources were the only ones that had the correct information about V-Card, with Cinder claiming that Shy Lily stated that Cinder wasn't an official source of information, despite her having the information and being a partial owner of Gamersubs. Cinder would apologize to Lily about the leaked information.
So you have information about blah, blah. Wait, that seems so petty.
To which Lily accepted at the time. The two wouldn't directly talk to each other for some time, until Cinder offered to play Split Fiction with Lily, to which she rejected. The last DMs between the two would involve troubleshooting OBS. Cinder would state that Shy Lily would never greet or thank her for two of the raids she did. From there, the majority of information was taken from Nano's section, though it would include an interaction between her and Bosca about Shy Lily's lack of communication, to which Bosca stated that Shy Lily only used Discord for business purposes. Cinder would send a message 5 days prior to the documents being published, to which she would get ghosted. The second largest section in Cinder's document talked about the individuals who were involved in canceling Sinder, which Sinder claimed to be 12 different people, though she suspected that more people had some form of involvement. Cinder would emphasize Shy Lily's involvement in this section, as she claimed that Shy Lily manipulated Nano into believing that Cinder and Red were manipulating her, leading to Nano's doc being made and published. It's in this section where the majority of comments made in the entire document were labeled as speculative. Cinder would provide a 17-day timeline that discussed the events that happened between April 11th and April 28th, 2025, where Cinder would source previous sections and VODs to provide a general overview.
So pretty much what I'm getting with the Shy Lily stuff is that they just weren't talking to each other directly, and they're like, I don't know. Again, they're like work friends, so it doesn't really matter. Like, I don't know. They're not homies. I don't know. They didn't grow up with them. You don't know them for like 10 years. Like, I don't know. I don't beg my friend from work to message me right away when I want to talk. I don't know, or even message me at all, to be honest. I don't go out of the way to talk to my work friends.
While also providing speculative comments regarding the details, such as potential events that may have transpired, whether Nano's manager was actually her manager, and whether Nano's screenshots of DMs were taken in different time zones or not, though Cinder feels more confident in the last matter. Cinder continues this section by beginning her dissection of the documents with Nano's doc, already ripping into Nano's first sentence with 4 separate paragraphs. Generally speaking, Cinder is refuting Nano's claims of manipulation by allegedly pointing out instances where Nano either failed to provide the full context or made up information entirely. Most of the
so it's lying about manipulation.
The arguments in this portion of the section have previously been made in Nano's section of the doc, primarily focusing on Nano's desire to cancel other commissions and her
Because my shit, I need my freedom.
Desire to go exclusive with Cinder. Cinder would list out speculative theories regarding a few questions, but mostly speculated that Nano was manipulating screenshots after Nano sent them to others. Nano leaked messages to Shy Lily due to believing that Red was lying to her instead of Shy Lily, and Nano had Shy Lily write the document instead of writing it herself. Cinder would move on to talk about Bao's document, where the general claim of this section is that Bao, along with others, was misinformed about the events that
Well, I'm so confused now, because so Cinder thinks that everybody else was getting manipulated by Nano or Lily, and that's why they all started attacking. Well, it's quote unquote attacking Cinder. That's what I'm getting from the past like 3 minutes. I don't know.
Due to Nano and Shy Lily lying to them about the information. Generally speaking, Cinder
so Nano.
That the majority of Bao's
so Snyder and Cinder thinks Lily and Nano are the duo manipulating everybody else to attack Cinder for some reason.
Was full of false claims, in which Cinder claimed that Bao would only make these claims if she was told about the information by someone else. Cinder would use screenshots from Nano's section as her evidence, but would also reference Bao's stream on April 27th to assert claims and provide context. Her speculations would include Shy Lily contacting Bao to manipulate her, Bao's second model never getting cancelled, and Nano not wanting to work on Bao's model in the first place. Cinder's discussion about Shy Lily's response would be the most argumentative.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, man. This fucking whole thing is this whole entire paragraph thing. I don't know if people can read all this stuff on X. I don't know. Just earned a bag. Everything you did at competition. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
As Cinder believed that Lily's response was what canceled Cinder in the first place. Generally speaking,
maybe
Cinder mostly focused on refuting claims of choosing business over friends for the sake of money and slandering others, though it makes some choice words towards the end. Unlike the previous breakdowns, Cinder would only use around 7 unique screenshots as evidence for her claims against Lily's response tweet, choosing to emphasize her personal experience and thoughts. When it came to Shy Lily's response stream, Cinder would go into extensive detail,
more
with this
That's a crazy
the majority
title
of the section alone. If we ignore the number of times she just says petty, which is 7, Cinder's main points were that Lily dodged collab opportunities and DMs out of her own volition rather than avoiding problematic situations, deflected problematic things that she allegedly did.
Why is that
Cinder claiming that Lily?
Why is that a problem? She doesn't want to do a collab stuff. I don't know. I don't see how that's a problem. I mean, is that a problem? Am I missing something?
Admitted to, quote, everything she claimed was slander and manipulation that turned Nano against me in the first place. When it came to the speculations, Cinder claimed that Shy Lily did this out of envy and gained a lot out of lying. Lily encouraged Nano to lie in her doc, and Lily would manipulate Nano and others to push her narrative. She would make 3 different conclusions in this section. With the general conclusion,
this is the big
Cinder
part
would state that while Red did create an assumed story based on his experiences that painted those involved in a negative light, the others could have done the exact same thing towards Cinder and Red. Cinder would state that she forgives her friends for partaking in her cancellation,
I don't know,
as she believes that they were led on and manipulated. With Nano, Cinder would state that she felt betrayed by Nano's doc, and believed that Nano's intentions were originally malicious. Cinder believed that Shy Lily grossly manipulated Nano into speaking out, and planned to continue using Nano's work until they can be replaced. With Shy Lily, Cinder would direct the majority of her negativity towards her. She would be confident in Shy Lily being the overall mastermind behind Cinder's cancellation, and stated that nobody.
Okay, yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. So she's thinking that Shy Lily is the one, and Nano are literally doing this all just to bring down Cinder. I think that's the vibe I'm getting from this.
Not to believe Shy Lily, which she allegedly used to her advantage in deplatforming Cinder. Moving past that segment, Cinder would dive into the largest section of the document, Silvervale. Cinder would be upfront in saying that the two were never friends, and asserted that Silver hated her and Red for years.
Silver disliked me?
Silvervale confidently lied about Cinder when she had the chance. Just like with the other section.
Okay, now before we get it, we're gonna have screenshots about this or anything?
Silvervale's section mostly contained over 100 pages of screenshots,
oh shit,
but did try to have a fair amount of original commentary and analysis. The main focus of this section was disproving the allegations of copying Silvervale's design and overall personality by showcasing the history of Cinder creating her original concept based on her previous ASMR persona and taking inspiration for other VTubers and their outfits. Cinder would talk about how the two met through a mutual friend, where the two somewhat hit it off, though wouldn't have future collabs due to Silvervale preferring to play alone. When it came to the meeting at TwitchCon in 2023, Cinder would state that the photo wasn't planned and was taken by Red without her or Silvervale's knowledge. She would also include a series of attempted interactions with Silvervale through DMs. However, most would be met with silence. Cinder would also talk about how some of Silver's Twitch moderators reached out to Red and applied to be part of.
Everything I've seen so far is that Silvervale weren't friends. What the fuck? They were literally people that just did business together. I don't get it.
Cinder's moderation team. Although the main moderator in question asked Red to keep their DMs private, Red would put up the DMs up into the doc. It's through these DMs that Cinder would find out about Silver blacklisting Cinder's emotes in her chat, and if
Cinder's popular bios on Twitch chat, man. Yeah, the hydrate one seemed to be the target. I mean, it's one of the drinking gamer stuff, so I can understand the angle of the advertisement. Oh, okay. I mean,
eventually Cinder's name as well. When Cinder talked about Silver's statement, Cinder stated that Silver only knew what information Nano shared, and claimed that she only agreed with the narrative that the others decided upon by emphasizing Silver's apparent negative feelings towards Cinder. When Silver made additional statements on streams like the others, Cinder would use roughly 30 pages of this section to try and refute the statements made. Most of the rebuttals focused on Cinder claiming that Silver didn't tell her to go away when she felt annoyed towards her, and blamed Cinder.
So wait, hold on. There's a problem with me for years. She did not respect me for everything that was responsible on my message, even though to tell me up directly, she lied about doing everything. She was untrue, and she's maliciously portraying the claims Shelly and my friends made. I'm not really getting anything for this. At first, I messaged her 5 times. I'm positive next 6 months until I restricted. I mean, wasn't there also like talking about how Cinder wanted to just do collabs, people to use them to gain popularity? Maybe that was going. I mean, and then kind of you're seeing it in the DMs where she was DMing everybody to collab, which I mean, I get you trying to play, unless she thought she was friends with them.
For all of her failures. In her conclusion, Cinder would state that Silver is a quote master emotional manipulator and was envious of Cinder's success to the point of quote seething over her existence. Cinder would also speculate that Silver never liked her and copied her, not the other way around, and tried to call out Silver for collabing with Shy Lily, despite claiming to prefer streaming solo. Deputy Aru's section is on the small.
Okay, like maybe she just doesn't like you. I mean, that could be why is that a problem? Why is her not liking you a problem? I don't get it.
Document, as it primarily focused on 2 particular tweets from Aru that claimed that Cinder treated her as a tool to get to Silvervale rather than a friend. Cinder would claim that this wasn't the case, but rather it was Aru who offered an opportunity to meet Silvervale through a collab opportunity. Cinder would state that Aru admitted to lying in her tweets and included about 14 pages of DMs between the two, where it mostly consisted of the two talking about the potential collab.
Well, collab with us? Let me message. Wait, have you heard of forum so about doing
getting art together and
would you guys go together?
Handing out off stream. No
My love, I was trying to gang together, hang out. I mean, there's so many cutoffs.
Speculative theories or breakdowns are presented in this section. When it came to Spite, Sinder apologized for the harassment Spite faced for being similar to her, and admitted to knowing about Spite being excluded from working with Nano because of Cinder's personal feelings. She would then claim that Spite was contacted by Shy Lily, who encouraged her to make a public statement that is, quote, made up of allegations without evidence and is purely based on conjecture. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but whatever. Similar to Silverveil's section, Sinder would begin with providing her evidence that she didn't copy Spite, and went into additional detail regarding the summer, goddess, and sleepwear outfits, as those were some of the main points Spite made in her document. While she states that most of their teasers and tweets were coincidental, Sinder does admit to making a tweet in spite of Spite after she believed that Spite was copying her. In her speculation portion, she would claim that Spite possibly copied Sinder, not the other way around, due to various circumstances. She would also talk about ASMR VTuber Nowntales and how individuals harassed her over similar designs, though wouldn't mention how she liked one of the individual's tweets, and would state that the two resolved their issues.
Why is this a problem? I don't get this. This is like some high school, this part of this is like some high school drama, or just people don't like you and then now you're gonna have to have problems, and then it's just like, cool. I don't know, this doesn't feel normal to me.
Statement about VTuber designs and the general idea of copying others, stating that she grew to be less concerned with others taking inspiration from her design, specifically the fire inside her ears. After her breakdowns and decoding of the previously mentioned individuals...
You're copying? It's not even like a one-for-one copy, you're just taking an inspiration. Why is that a problem? Why is this being so... It just seems so petty, some of it. I don't know, like flames in the ear, like, oh, wow, it's so brand new, like we haven't seen that in anime before.
Sinder would issue a formal apology to her community, stating that she regretted disappearing with a poorly made statement and wished her community the best in the future. Red would also throw in a brief apology of his own. Sinder would also call out the individuals who harassed others for the sake of defending her, stating that they are disgusting people who don't belong in her community, and apologize to those who were impacted by the mentioned individuals. To conclude the doc, Sinder stated that she plans to come back as Sinder in the near future, and is excited to get back into content creation. The responses. Generally speaking, the responses have been very mixed, with a spectrum of positive and negative tweets being made commenting on Cinder's doc.
I mean, again, like for me, I'm just like an outside source, you know. I don't watch any of these guys. I'm just seeing what I'm reading what I'm seeing, and honestly, I just feel like this is like a little bit of a high school spat. Like, you know, nobody was really hurt. From my understanding, a couple of models didn't get finished. I don't know that. That's just...
General pattern
it doesn't make sense to
me. Following. Cinder is still to blame for everything. Cinder is more at fault, but others have some fault. Everyone involved has equal amounts of fault. Others are more at fault, but Cinder has some fault. And Cinder is 100% forgiven. In terms of direct replies on Cinder's tweet, the responses fall towards the negative side of the spectrum, with many stating that Cinder shouldn't have written 1,000 pages as a defense, Cinder contradicting herself on multiple occasions, and that while Nano may have lied and over-exaggerated details in her document, there is still a decent chunk of padding, contradictory statements, and misinformation that goes beyond her counter-arguments against Nano. Outside of Cinder's tweet, the responses are more mixed, but generally fall in the moderate sides and the middle of the spectrum, though there are still plenty of people who fall on the ends of both sides. Focusing on the blue section...
honestly, I think that's where it mostly happens for like those high school spats. It's mostly in the center. Everybody's the problem. It's a little childish between what I'm getting at. I mean, it just doesn't... There's not much going on. There's no substance, you know? Like, what's the real problem here? Other than the part where they're saying they're manipulating Nano, I think the biggest problem here is like with Nano, like where they're canceling of models, like financially, like it's like, you know, that's where money starts getting involved. Like if they're paying somebody off not to do it, or she's doing it so that they don't get advanced, then that's a problem. It's kind of like, it's not like a major problem where somebody's gonna fucking die.
The main arguments made include that most people have a predetermined bias that they don't want to change, and anyone who didn't read the majority of the document made their opinions too early. Regardless of where you fall on this spectrum, do not harass anybody involved in this situation.
Yeah, I don't know. The biggest thing about this is how do I say, like, it's just a high school drama. People aren't gonna get along. Silverveil just never got along with Cinder. The whole Nano thing being, I don't want you to work with this anymore. We saw some screenshots of it saying that it was just business, meaning that it's up to you kind of thing. That's what I got of it. The Shy Lily thing, her getting cut off from, like, dude, she doesn't want to collab with you. She doesn't want to collab with you. If people don't want to collab with you, you can't even be mad about that. Like, yeah, cool. But at the end of the day, you're on Twitch, our streaming is just, you're not friends. You're just like streamer friends. So it doesn't matter. That's just like, I don't know. That's like you're just work friends. So it's like you can't really expect to create an argument along that. I feel like if you're really trying to find other people to collab with, that's what you should have done. You should try to find other people to collab with. You should have just cut them off, gone, say, okay, these guys don't like me. I'm sorry. Don't really talk about on Twitter, or if people also like, I don't know, I tried DMing, whatever. If people don't, just try being honest. I don't know. There's no need to force yourself in a situation you never wanted to be in. That's the vibe I got from this. I don't know. Please tell me what you thought about this whole Sinder, Snyder's, whatever the fuck her name is, problem. Do you forgive her? Is she still at fault? Is whole thing just freaking high school drama again? Please like, comment, subscribe, and I hope to see you in the next one. See ya.